Hello everyone, welcome to this India series. This India series is basically focused on providing the in-depth knowledge of a particular standard, India standard, to the professionals, to the practitioners, and to the students also. So this time we are covering India 12. The whole series for the India style is divided into the 8 lectures. Lecture number 1 will be covering the basic concepts about the India's 12, that's income taxes, deferred taxes, how to calculate deferred tax and how to calculate income tax. Okay. Lecture 2 will be talking about more into the details of the specific, like what is the tax base of a liability, in special cases what can be a tax base, what is the tax base of an asset, competition of a tax base, then how to offset the current tax and current asset and liability. The lecture 3 will be basically focused on the tax base in case of a fair value of our asset, the advanced topics of with respect to the deferred tax and the tax base, like fair value of asset, carrying value of goodwill, deferred tax on initial recognition of asset or liability. Lecture 4 will be totally focused on the revaluation of asset, how to record deferred tax in case of a revaluation of a asset, deferred tax liability, reversal, journal entries, disclosures, everything. Lecture number 5, again, temporary differences with respect to the consolidation, investment in subsidiaries, and how to calculate deferred tax in those cases. Lecture number 6, deferred tax arising from the business combination. Deferred tax arising from share-based payment will be covered in the lecture number 7, and lecture number 8 will be presentation and disclosure in general and specific also. Throughout all the lectures, we will also discuss the difference between Ind AS 12 and IAS 12. IAS 12 is a International Accounting Standard 12, from where we have converged this Ind AS. Okay, so each lecture will be of 60 minutes in this series, and I will try as much as to provide to give you practical and detailed insight with the live and practical examples. Okay, so let's start with the lecture number 1 today. So today, first, we will cover the basic concept of the Ind AS 12. Now, to cover the basic concept like the deferred tax and the current tax, we need to understand first few things. If there is a standard, means there was a need for this standard. There was some issue in the accounting. There was some problem in the accounting. Now that issue, that problem first we need to understand. Then only we will be able to understand this standard. So I'll explain you the problem and the issue with the example. Okay. Now let us see first the example. So everyone, let's take an example of a company. Everyone know companies are supposed to maintain their books as per the company tax provision. They need to calculate the profit as per the company's and as per the Ind AS. Okay. And on the other hand, they have a tax income tax act applicable, and they need to calculate their income as per the income tax act also. So first we will see the calculation of profit as per the company's act. Okay. We'll take 2 years example. So particulars, year 1, year 2. Okay. Now let's say profit before that was 100, and in this case it was 120. Okay. Now depreciation will be allowed. Let's say depreciation in the books of account as per the company's act. This is company's act. This is company's act. So as per the company's act, uh, the depreciation allowed was at the rate 10%. A hypothetical example. So we need to compute the WDV, and accordingly, let's say in the start of year 1, WDV, year 1, year 2, sorry, particulars, year 1, year 2. Okay. So let's say year 1 only amount. WDV at the start of year 1, 100. Hypothetical example, depreciation at the rate 10%, it will be 10. Then my WDV closing for the year 1 will be 90. Again, depreciation at the rate 10%, 9. My WDV closing again for the say this is year 1, this is year 2 will be 81. So depreciation for the first year I will be allowed with rupees 10, and for the second year it will be 9. Profit after depreciation will be 91,111. Sorry, here in this case it will be 90, and in the other case it will be 111. Okay. Now we need to calculate tax provision. Let's say taxes are also at the rate 10%. So tax at the rate 10% on 90 will be 9, and in this case 11.1. Okay. Simple, clear cut example. Now let's consider income tax books. So when a person or a company is required to pay a tax in the income tax act as per the provisions of income tax act, as per some allowances and after some deduction based on the profit which are derived from the books. So I'll try to replicate that scenario with an example. Okay. So again, year 1, year 2. Let's say my PGBP, profit before tax, was for year 1 was 90 and 111. This same amount, this amount I have taken here. Depreciation will be added back. Why? Because depreciation is not allowed of Companies Act in the Income Tax Act. So I'll be adding back my 10 and 9. It will give me profit of 100 and 120. Then let's say company Income Tax Act allows the depreciation at the rate 20%. Accelerated depreciation, or you can say more depreciation than compared to the Companies Act. So depreciation under the Income Tax Act 20%. So this was Companies Act. We'll calculate here. Income Tax Act amount, same 100 WDV, depreciation at the rate 20% was there. So 20, it will be 80 remaining, again 20% depreciation. So it will be 16. And then the remaining WDV was the closing 64. So I will be allowed this benefit. Depreciation 20, 16. So my profit will be here 80. In this case, minus 16, 104. Profit. So income I can say, and tax at the rate 10%, 8, 10.4. Now if you see the tax provision which we made in our books, on one hand the books tax provision was 9 and 11. However, we ended up paying tax at 8 and 10.4 in year 1 and year 2 respectively. So if we are making a provision and paying another amount, then someone can question that you are making a provision at 9 and you are paying at 8, then you are making over provision, over accruals. It can be the case. Okay, we can say that okay, we are making over accruals like 9 and 8 compared to, then why we are doing that? We should record our profit at tax at 8 only, then we shouldn't record at the 9. So if we say okay, record this as a 8, then what will be the scenario is, will you able be to correlate the 8 with the 90? Answer will be no. 8 cannot be correlated with the 90 because 8 is calculated on the 80 after allowing income tax depreciation. Here there is no income tax depreciation. Depreciation is only as per the books. Then the next question will arise, okay, 8 is not correlated to the 90, then how? Then you need to change the 90 because 8 is not correlated with that. So to change the 90, you need to allow the depreciation as per the Income Tax Act over here. If you will change this as per the Income Tax Act, then what will happen is you are preparing the income tax books. Then how will you be compliant with the Companies Act? So there are cases where we were not, like if we follow some other provision or some other calculation, in that case we were becoming non-compliant to the Companies Act provision. Hence, it was difficult for the companies to change the depreciation or change the profit or to change the tax provision in the books. Now, one more issue which arises here. Okay, matching concept. Matching concept says that expense of the same period should be matched with the revenue of same period. Okay. Now the question arises, which is the expense of that period? So for example, I have a revenue 100 or let's say whatever on the basis of which I have tax calculated tax. Is the tax 8 rupees for that particular period as per the Income Tax Act, or expense is 9 rupees as per the Companies Act? As per the matching concept, I am only supposed to have the expense of that period compared with the revenue of that period. Either expense can be 8, either expense can be 9. Both cannot be the answer in this case. As a result, I need to select any one. The moment I'll select one, the other will become wrong and I need to change. So, because to address this problem, a concept of deferred tax was brought. Okay. And now, why deferred tax is it known as? I'll explain you with one more example. I'll extend this example, let's say. See, in this case, what I have done is I have calculated depreciation of 1 lakh rupees. Asset value is equal to 1 lakh. Companies Act depreciation is at 10% and Income Tax Act depreciation is at 20%. Then I find it out the difference. Depreciation as per Companies Act minus Income Tax Act. This difference column over here. What I came to know is in the initial 6 years over here, in the initial 6 years, I was getting additional depreciation in income tax. You can say additional depreciation, or you can say higher depreciation, or you can say accelerated depreciation. I was getting additional depreciation in income tax. Now, because of this additional depreciation, what was happening is my income was less compared to Companies Act. If my income is less compared to the Companies Act, then what will happen is I will end up paying less taxes in income tax, because my income is less. That's why there is a less tax on the income. And why there's a less income? Because there's an additional depreciation. Simple. So for the first 6 years, I understood that okay, the additional depreciation which I'm getting because of the change in the rate in the Income Tax Act compared to the Companies Act is allowing me a benefit of paying less taxes. Because of this, I was paying less taxes. Okay. Now, when I moved further in the subsequent years, I realized one more thing. I realized that in the subsequent years, what was happening is the depreciation as per the Companies Act was higher than the depreciation as per the Income Tax Act. And why this is was because till the 6th year, my WDV, closing WDV, if you see over here, is 26,000, whereas in Companies Act it's 53,000. So the WDV was higher in the books of Companies Act and compared to the WDV which was there in the Income Tax Act. Now, why this is, and what is the implication of this? When you have a higher asset balance in the tax books, or you can say Income Tax Act, means what, you will be getting more deduction in the future. If you have a higher asset balance, you will be getting more additional, or you will be getting higher depreciation in future in income tax set. However, it is a reverse in this case. We have a less balance of asset in our income tax set, so we'll get a lesser deduction. So what we identified is, if you have a tax, you can say balance higher than books, then what will be the scenario is, if your tax balance is higher than books, means you will get more deduction in future. Now understand one thing, if you are getting a more deduction in future, means you have got less deduction as of now. Simple. If you are getting more deduction in future, means you have got less deduction as of now, that's why you're getting more deduction in the future. Okay, this was our first principle. Just remember, principle, shortcut, whatever you can say, this is the first principle we need to remember. And this is a very important thing, very important thing. I'll mark as a red, because this is a very important thing. Okay, now in the current case, in this current example, what we were seeing is our tax balance is low over here compared to the book balance. Tax balance is low compared to the book balance, means in future what will happen for this cases is, when you will, if the tax balance is low in the future, what will happen in this case is that my depreciation will be less in income tax compared to my company set. Now let's say my profit was 100, example, profit was 100, depreciation in the books was 15. I usually add back that. Okay, I got 115 before depreciation, and in income tax the depreciation allowed to me was only 10. So the net profit was for me to calculate tax was 105, which is more than this one. This is more. So when you have a more depreciation in books compared to the income tax act, this is the scenario. See over here, if you can say like my depreciation as per the company's income tax act is 6872, and the depreciation in the same line with the income company tax is 28,000. So my depreciation in books is more compared to the income tax act, and when this happens is your profit increases in the income tax act because you are getting less depreciation. Now, if you are getting less depreciation in income tax act, means your income will be higher. In income tax compared to your company act, because the example, company act was this much, IT is this much. Company act profit was this much, IT is this much. When your income tax depreciation is low compared to your company act depreciation. Now, higher income means simple, higher taxes. Now, if you see earlier, what happened was we paid less taxes because the depreciation was more in income tax. But in the subsequent year, the depreciation got reduced in the income tax and we are paying higher taxes. Earlier, we were paying low taxes. Now we are paying higher taxes. So what we have done? We have just deferred our taxes to the future periods. So when we were paying lower taxes, at that time we took some of the taxes and deferred to the future, and in the future we are paying those higher taxes. That is the concept of deferred tax, that you are deferring tax of one period to another period. It's that simple. Okay, now by this we can conclude, like as we concluded the first principle, that when your tax balance is greater than books, more deduction in future. When your tax balance is greater than your books, you will get more deduction in the future. However, if your tax balance is less than books, you will get less deduction in future. Now, if our tax balance is low compared to the books, means we will get less deduction in the future. If we are getting a less deduction in the future, that means your income will be higher in the future and you will be paying taxes. If I am going to pay taxes in the future, that means it's a liability for me. Okay, it's a liability for me that I'm going to pay taxes in the future. And if I'm going to get more deduction in the future, means it's an asset for me. Simple. We'll understand further these principles further, but as of now it is very clear that we are deferring the taxes from one period to another. That's the concept of deferred tax, the deferring of tax from one period to another. And how much we are deferring, someone will ask, are we deferring the same amount? So for example, there was 100, we deferred this 100 to the future periods. Is the same amount we are deferring? The answer is yes. Why? Because your asset value is 1 lakh only. You will not get any amount, a single penny more deduction in either income tax or in company tax. Your total deduction of all the depreciations cumulated together, summed together, will be 1 lakh rupees. It won't be more than 1 lakh rupees in any of the case. Let it be income tax act or it be a company tax. Unless and until you revalue, you book it on fair value or any other thing. Considering everything constant, with given the scenario, your total deduction will not be more than 1 lakh. So what you are actually doing here is, you are just bifurcating that 1 lakh as per the income tax tax. It's in some year it's more, in some year it is less. As per the company tax, in some year it is less, in some years it is more. So the difference, less and more, is nothing but impacting your profit. Your profit is shifting. When your profit shifts temporarily, like this is a temporary shift, because a shift of less shift in the 1 year is compensated by more shift in another year. Same way, a depreciation, if you claim less depreciation in the initial years, you will get more depreciation in the subsequent years. Same way, if you claim more depreciation in the previous year, the initial years, you will get less depreciation in the subsequent years. So you are just shifting, and that's why the shifting is known as the temporary. Now this phenomena of shifting, a temporary phenomena, is also known as the temporary difference, because a difference of 1 year is compensated by the difference in another year. We understood we are deferring the tax. We understood that the difference is in temporary nature because it is compensated by the difference in another year. Understood? Now we understood that I'll explain with one more example. Particulars: year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. Assume I have a constant income 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. Okay. Depreciation of an asset. Asset is of rupees 50. I am allowed as a SLM for 5 years. It will be 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. My profit will be 90, 90, 90, 90, 90. Simple. Pretty much simple. Okay. Now, when I will come to Income Tax Act, this is Income Tax Act. What Income Tax Act is? PGBP, which is your 90, 90, 90, 90, 90. Add your depreciation back of 10, 10, 10, 10, and 10. Once you added your depreciation back, you are allowed for the depreciation as per the Income Tax Act. Okay. Now let's assume here the depreciation as per the Income Tax Act is only available for 3 years. You need to depreciate the whole asset in 3 years, or let's say 4 years. You can say 4 years. I need to depreciate whole asset into the 4 years. Or you can say 2 years. Let's take example of 2 years. I need to depreciate this asset as per Income Tax Act of rupees 50 into 2 years. What will happen is 25 depreciation here, 25 depreciation here, rest nil. So your profit will be how much? 75, 75, 100, 100 and 100. Now let's check the compensating effect over here, whether the effect is same or not. Okay, now compared to this, my profit as per the IT Act is this much, as per the Companies Act. So how much less profit is there in the Income Tax Act? 90 minus 75, it is 15 less profit. Here also 15 less profit. How much additional profit I am here booking? 10, 10, 10. How 10? 90 into 100, 90 minus 100. This difference of 90 or difference of 100. Okay. Am I booking additional? If you see cumulative effect. So here it was 15. Here it become 30. Here it will become 20 because its sign changes, because here the profit as per the Income Tax Act is more and Companies Act is less. It was reverse over here. Then it will become 10 and it will become 0. This shows that the profit which the deduction which I took earlier in Income Tax Act at the higher rate was of equal amount, which was for which for which the profit got increased at the later stage. In the way, if let's remove this thing also, the cumulative profit and the less and more profit. Okay, what we do is we calculate the tax over here. Let's example taxes at the rate 10%. It will be 7.5. It will be 7.5. It will be 10, 10, 10. Although if the depreciation would be same, like let's assume the depreciation was same in the Income Tax Act and the companies, and if there was no difference, then how much profit I would have been paying? Taxes at the rate 10% as per Companies Act, which is 90. So it will be 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Now see the effect. In the first year, I'm paying less taxes. Why? Because I took the additional depreciation. And how much I'm paying the less taxes? 1.5. In the same also 1.5, I'm paying less taxes. Then I'm paying more taxes of 1, 1, 1. If you see the cumulative effect, this 1.5, 1.5 will make it 3. And this 3 will make it 3. And this will become nullified. Why? Reason because it's a simple concept that in the initial years I was taking additional depreciation, I was showing less profit in the Income Tax Act, and there was a benefit of taxation to me. And in the subsequent years, when I took the additional depreciation, my tax value got down. The tax balance of that asset got down. I got less depreciation and there was higher tax. So earlier I paid less tax, now I paid higher tax. Both got compensated. When you can compensate both, that becomes the temporary nature. Why? Within the 5 years, 6 year, 10 years when it will get nullified. That's why it's a temporary in nature. And if it is a temporary in nature, we can call it as a temporary difference. So till now we understood one thing, that when there is a difference due to in the tax balance and the asset balance. For example, let's go to our example here. When there is a difference in your tax balance and book balance in the books, then the difference is that it can be of temporary nature and another can be of permanent nature also. But as of now, for this particular standard purpose, we'll focus on the temporary differences. If the difference is of temporary nature, then you are just doing your deferring taxes from one period to another. Means you are giving rise to the deferred tax. So whenever there is a difference in your tax balance and book balance, it gives to the temporary nature. When and it is related to the temporary nature, then it is a phenomena which will give rise to the deferred tax. Hope it is clear till now. So we understood the difference, like can be if it is of temporary nature, it will give rise to the deferred tax. Okay, now in this case, in this example which was we seeing earlier, my WDV as per the company share was 81 and my tax amount was this one 64. So both are different. My company set is higher than the income tax set, means this phenomena will give rise to the deferred tax. If this is also, if this difference is of temporary nature, then it will give rise to the deferred tax. Now, to calculate the deferred tax, we need to also go into further detail and further understand what the standard says. I have presented some, like, prepared one document where you can find easily the definitions of the standard. Also, we will compare the clause by clause standard also. See, temporary differences are differences between carrying amount of an asset and liability in the balance sheet and tax base. So there are two new terms. Which are these new terms? Carrying amount and tax base. Carrying amount is nothing but your balance in books, and tax base is nothing but your tax balance. We saw in this example over here tax balance and book balance of an asset. This is the tax balance of an asset, and this is the book balance of an asset. We saw the example over here. These are the tax balances, and these are the book balances. Or you can say this is the tax base and this is the carrying value. Sorry. So temporary differences are differences between carrying amount of an asset or liability in the balance sheet or its tax basis. So when there is a difference between your carrying amount, that is the balance in the books, and as liability and the tax basis, then at that time this gives rise to the temporary difference, and that temporary difference is your gives rise to the deferred tax. Now we identified there is a temporary difference because my tax base and the carrying amount is different. From now onwards, we will not use the tax balance or the book balance. We'll use the tax base and the carrying amount terminology. So we identified that okay, there is a difference. That's it. My carrying amount is different than the tax base. Now what to do? I know this gives rise to the deferred tax. Now further what? In that case, you need to understand one thing, whether this difference is of temporary nature or permanent nature. So once you identified your difference, okay, so you need to check whether it is of temporary nature or permanent nature. I identified, okay, it's a temporary nature. Now what? After that, you need to understand whether this is taxable or deductible. Okay, taxable and deductible. What is this? How to identify what is a taxable and what is a deductible? Simple. Pretty much very much simple. Let's understand with the definition. Taxable temporary differences are differences that will result in taxable amount in determining taxable profit of future periods. Simple. Taxable temporary differences are those differences which will allow taxable profit in future periods. Means what? It will increase your taxability in future. And while that will happen, when it will happen that your taxability in future will increase, let us bring our examples back. Remember, we made this principle over here that more deduction in the future or less deduction in the future. This one, we'll bring that over here to understand further. Okay. Now we identified, okay, there's a difference. Now, taxable temporary different definition goes by that if you are getting more tax in the future, if it is increasing your tax in the future, means it's a taxable temporary difference. Okay. And when that happens is more more tax in the future when your deduction is less in the future. So when your deduction will be less in the future, when your tax balance is lower than your book balance in books, means my tax base is less than my carrying amount. Why this will happen? Why tax base? If tax base is less than carrying amount, then I will get more tax in the future. Simple. If your tax base is less, then what will happen is you will get less deduction in the future. If you are getting less deduction in the future, you will pay more taxes in the future. If you are paying more taxes in the future, means what? Simple. If you are paying more tax in the future, means you have paid less tax now. See, temporary difference is about the compensating. If you are going to pay more tax in the future, means you have paid less tax as of now. And if you paid less tax as of now, you have generated a liability upon your head. You have generated a liability upon your head that you will going to pay more tax in the future. That's why you are deferred it. Simple. Today what you have done is you have just created liability on my head. Okay, I'll pay less tax today so that I will pay this liability in the future. This will give rise to the deferred tax liability. This will give rise to deferred tax liability if your tax base is lower than your book balance. If your tax base is lower than your books balance, that will give rise to the deferred tax liability. We understood. We derived this. Okay. Now, what if the tax balance is more in the than the carrying value? Means what? Your tax balance is more. You will get more deduction in the future. If you get more deduction in the future, that means you will be paying less tax in the future. If you are going to pay less tax in the future, what you have done is compensating, total compensating. You have paid tax as of now, and you are saying, okay, I will pay tax less in the future, and I have paid tax now as a more. If you have paid something more as of now, and for the future, that is your asset. So that will give rise to the deferred tax asset. I hope this is clear. What is how deferred tax asset and how deferred tax liabilities are identified based on the tax base and the carrying value. And this is the standard. This is the balance sheet approach change from the last accounting standard. If you see, deductible temporary difference are difference which are temporary difference that will result in the amount that are deductible in determining taxable profit of future period. Means something deduction is going to come, or deduction you will get from the future profits when the carrying amount of the asset or liability is recovered. Now, I have presented a table over here that carrying value is more than the tax base. Then for an asset, as of now, we are talking about asset, only for asset base. Here the balance which we are talking about, this one over here is for asset, only asset. Okay. In another terminology, if I wrote that tax base is greater than carrying value, can I write carrying value less than tax base? Similar, no change. I just shifted from here and there. In this is carrying value greater than tax base. Again, just shifted from here and there. Now, if carrying value, let's say this one first. If carrying value is more than tax base, means it's a deferred tax liability for an asset. We derived it. Okay. Carrying value more than tax base means it's a deferred tax liability. The shortcut. Carrying value more than tax base over here. That means taxable temporary difference that creates the deferred tax liability. Simple. Now, taxable temporary difference means you are going to pay more taxes in the future. And carrying value less than the tax base, it's a deductible temporary difference. It's a deferred tax asset over here. See, carrying value less than tax base, it's a deferred tax asset because you are going to pay less tax in the future, means you are getting more deduction, then it's a deductible temporary difference. So this becomes your and this becomes your taxable temporary difference. I hope this is clear till now. So deferred tax arises from the temporary differences, and temporary differences are two types: taxable, deductible. Taxable, which gives rise to the deferred tax liability, and deductible, which gives rise to the deferred tax asset. Over here. Okay. I hope it is clear. Good. See, let's also look at the standard and its definition over mentioned over there. Okay. Let's go to the definitions. We'll look at this first definition of deferred tax. Temporary differences. Temporary differences. Now, temporary differences are differences between the carrying amount of an asset or liability in the balance sheet and its tax base. Temporary difference may be identified either in two parts. One, it's a taxable temporary difference. Another is a deductible temporary difference. Now, when I say a taxable temporary difference means temporary difference that will result in taxable amount in a future period. Determining taxable profit means it will increase your income in the future. And deductible are which are temporary difference that will result in amount that are deductible, determining the taxable profit in the future period. Determining the taxable profit of the future period. Till now, I hope it is clear. So this is the definition of taxable temporary difference and deductible temporary difference. And temporary differences are differences between carrying value and tax base. When I say carrying value means balance in the books, and tax base means balance in the textbooks. Okay, I'll highlight this so that we can understand this is a like topic heading one. Yeah. Till now, we understood what is the temporary difference, what are the taxable temporary difference, what are the deductible temporary difference, and how they will generate deferred tax liability and deferred tax asset. Okay. Now another definition is tax base. Now, what is the tax base? Tax base of asset and liability is the amount attributed to that asset for the tax purposes. Now, what can be the tax purposes means simple. Balance of asset or liability in your textbooks. This will be simple as balance of tax or liability, balance of asset or liability in textbooks. That will be your tax base. Okay. Now, let's look at the definition of deferred tax liability and asset. Now, deferred tax liability are the amount of income tax payable in future period respectable of the temporary difference. Means amount you are going to pay in the future, you are taken liability as of now on your head, and this is because of taxable temporary difference. Remember that. This is because of the taxable temporary difference. Okay. Now, what is the deferred tax asset? Deferred tax asset are the amount of income tax recoverable in the future period because you are paid tax as of now more because of deductible temporary difference, carry forward of unused tax losses, and carry forward of unused tax credits. Now there are two additional things which gives rise to DTA. These two things we will look into the next lecture. How carry forward and tax losses and unused tax credits give rise to the DTA. But as of now, this one, deductible temporary difference, will give rise to the DTA. So it's simple. The principle which we identified over here, deductible temporary difference, deferred tax asset, taxable temporary difference, deferred tax liability. Simple. Deductible deferred tax asset will give rise to your deferred tax, deductible temporary difference will give rise to deferred tax asset, and taxable temporary difference will give rise to the deferred tax liability. Clear? This is the shortcut, and we saw how to derive it. We'll as of now move further, and we'll write this here is okay. Taxable temporary difference. When it is taxable temporary difference in case of asset, case of a liability. In case of a asset, when it was a taxable temporary difference is simple. When your tax base was less than your carrying amount, or carrying amount was more than your tax base, your carrying amount is more than your tax base. In case of a deductible temporary difference? When it will arise in case of an asset? When your carrying amount is less than your tax base. Hope it is clear as of now. Yep. So guys, we saw what is the taxable temporary difference and what is the deductible temporary difference in case of an asset. In case of a liability, just you need to reverse it. In case of a liability, what will happen is the carrying amount less than tax base, carrying amount greater than tax base. So in case of a liability, the logic gets reversed. Why? Because from a liability, you don't get a deduction usually. Liability, you need to pay off either, or say, in case, let's say when we talk about an asset, we talk about a fixed asset and we get a deduction from there. But when we talk about a liability, we talk about an accrual of expenses or something like that, which are only allowable when you pay the amount. Or usually liability works on a reverse way of an asset. That's why in case of an asset, the carrying amount, if greater than tax base, means your taxable temporary difference. In a liability, if your carrying amount less than tax base, then it's your taxable temporary difference. I hope it is clear. Okay. So this is a main crux and the logic of deferred tax and how to recognize deferred tax. What is the taxable temporary difference? What is the deductible temporary difference? What are the temporary differences? And these are the main concept that which lay the foundation for the very advanced topics of the deferred tax in case of a goodwill, business combination, share-based payment. But for all that, you need to have this foundation clear. Without this foundation, moving ahead will be, like jumping in a very big ocean where you won't get anything. Trust me. Okay. So this was about the deferred tax and the temporary differences. Now, another topic which is there is current tax. Now, what is current tax? We will understand with the standard and definition. See, as per the standard, the current tax means the amount of income tax payable, recoverable in respect of the taxable profit. Amount of income tax is payable or recoverable in respect of taxable profit for a particular period. That will be your current tax. Now, let's move to our other example. This one, yeah, notes. In this current case, what we did is we identified what amount was payable as a tax. Okay, I'll remove this 8 as of now, to give it more clarity over here. This 9 and the I'll here it was 9. Now this is if I consider this as a current tax and my deferred tax impact on this. How much I will be paying the deferred tax here? Any idea, guys? So deferred tax is calculated difference on your tax base. Okay, so here in this case, my difference is over this. See over here. Now deferred tax is required to be calculated on this carrying value less tax base. So in first, this 2, in second, this 2. First 90 and 80, it's 10 negative, or you can say 10 asset. Your carrying amount is more. In second case, WD here, how much it is more? 81 minus 64. It is 17. Okay. So in second case, it's a 17 more. Okay. Now, based on this, what we can do is multiply by tax rate 10%, 10%, it will be equal to 1, 1.7. Now 1 and 1.7 are the value of deferred tax asset or liability. In this case, what is carrying value is more than taxable tax base. Remember guys, carrying value, if you're more than tax base, then it's what? When carrying value is more than your tax base, what will become? Here, deferred tax liability, taxable temporary differences. Remember, carrying value more than tax base. You already taken the deduction in present. Now in future you will be getting less deduction. Less deduction, more income, more income, more income tax, and that's a deferred tax liability. If your carrying amount is more than tax base, just like here, carrying amount more than tax base, what will be done? Deferred tax liability. This is DTL, deferred tax liability. Now this deferred tax liability is a balance as on this year 1 and year 2. So in the first year you are supposed to recognize, like let's say differential, different initial was 0. So differential of this, then differential of this. Differential of this is 1, differential of this is 0.7. You are supposed to recognize deferred tax liability. I hope it is clear guys. Deferred tax liability. So in that case, what will happen is, I'll give you an example. The tax you were supposed to pay for the previous year, let's say, the tax you were supposed to pay was 8 and 10.4. Now in the first year, I need to recognize deferred tax liability. And here, 0.7. What will be the total? 9 and 10.4 plus 0.7, 11.1. See, now what you did is you brought 9 and 11.1, that is 10% of the profit after depreciation. But what you did in this case is you bifurcated that total amount of 9 and 11.1 into two categories, current tax and deferred tax. Because total 9, as we were discussing based on the matching concept, was not for the current period. It is out of that, the one is for the future periods. And that's why you classified that one as a deferred tax. And for the rest, you have taken as a current tax. I hope it is clear, guys. So you identified the current tax, you identified the deferred tax by this way, and you got your taxable liability by this way. Now, if you see the standard, standard says that your total tax expense for a particular period will be the aggregate amount of included determination of profit and loss account in respect of current taxes and deferred taxes. Your current, so your tax expense for the period will include of deferred taxes and current taxes both. So that's why the concept of deferred tax was brought. Means that your total taxes now will be bifurcated in two parts. One will be your current taxes as per income tax, and second will be your deferred tax that you are not supposed to pay as of now, you will pay in the future. I hope it is clear. And taxable profit. Okay. Taxable profit means what? Taxable, where we use the term taxable profit? Taxable profit was used in the terms of current tax. Let's say income tax payable on taxable profit. Taxable profit is a profit and loss for a period determined in accordance with the rules established by the taxation authorities. Means in the current case, what it will be? It will be Income Tax Act. For India, it will be Income Tax Act. So taxable profit means profit and loss decided, determined according to the rules and provisions laid down by the taxation authorities, upon which income taxes are payable. Income Tax Act. And tax payable on taxable profit will become your current tax. That is, we calculate it as per the Income Tax Act. This, in our classic example, this amount will become our current tax. And 1 and 0.7, which we calculated the deferred tax over here by applying the rate, was deferred tax. And this deferred tax will, together with the current tax, will make your total tax expenditure. Oh, sorry. Sometimes this happens. Okay. So, okay, matching concept. Yeah. Now, this 9 and 11 will make your total tax expense, as we saw as per the definition. 9, 11.1 is your total tax. This is the concept of the deferred tax and total tax. Oh, sorry, current tax. And you saw how we calculate the current tax. So, guys, this is for this lecture. In the next lecture, what we will be discussing, let me show you. Just a moment. In the next, we saw what are deferred tax and how they arise, taxable temporary differences, deductible temporary differences, deferred tax liability and asset, current taxes, and calculation of current taxes. That 8 and 10.4 we calculated, and above that 1 and 0.7 we calculated as a deferred tax. In the next lecture, what we will see is the substantive enacted rates for the calculation of current tax, offsetting current tax asset and liability, calculation of deferred taxes, detailed calculation of deferred taxes with respect to each item of the balance sheet and P&L. So there are multiple items in the balance sheet and P&L. So I will also explain detailed concept about the liabilities, how liabilities impact on the deferred taxes. And there are certain more provisions of the Income Tax Act. They how they impact the calculation of the deferred taxes. Okay, like 43B, or if sections of 35 where you get the accelerated depreciation or deduction of an expense, like for example scientific research, and just like that. Okay, so like 35 sections, then you got accelerated depreciation, additional depreciation as per Income Tax Act. Then you say 43B, disallowances. There are various sections of the Income Tax Act. We'll discuss each that section with respect to the accounting standard. Then computation of a tax base and tax of a liability and asset. Again, these are the special considerations. Here, what will be our focus will be those expenses which are disallowed by the income tax. What will be their effect? And we will discuss liability by liability and asset by asset, their tax basis and their carrying value. Then we will, in the subsequent, in the lecture 3, we'll discuss, once these all things will be clear, then we'll move upon the higher topics like fair value of an asset, tax base in case of a fair value of asset, and tax base in case of a carrying value of goodwill, defer tax on initial recognition of asset and liability. Also in that, we will also take up ITFG issues. Okay, some of the ITFG issues and the queries which were which they answered, and that will also help us to understand further this topic. Then deferred tax in case of revaluation of asset, when you revalue the asset, when the asset is revalued and again reverse revalued, or down valued. So it includes revaluation plus down valuation. Then temporary differences in case of investment. So this includes consolidation plus investment in associates. How we recognize deferred tax in those cases? Multinational companies, they have multiple countries, multiple tax system. How they recognize the deferred tax in that case? So let's say, for example, you have a there is a company, let's say US listed company, has a subsidiary in India, has a subsidiary in Europe and everywhere else. So deferred tax of each nation, they deferred tax in case of a consolidation, then deferred tax in case of a jointly what you say consolidated transactions, for example, intercompany transactions, profit on intercompany transactions, and deferred tax on that. So there are lot many topics in case of a consolidation. Then again, in case of business combination, in case of share-based payment, and then presentation and disclosure. I hope you liked the lecture. Also, I will be sharing one feedback link and the query link after each and every lecture. And weekly, there will be one query session also. To understand and to answer your queries, or to provide you more clarification about the topics. Okay. Also, you can reach out to me. I will give you the links from where you can reach out and you can post your queries. I will be replying as soon as I will get the query. So yeah, thank you guys, thank you for listening to this lecture. I hope you liked it. Please do share your feedback and do provide your comments on this, and do provide me what the improvement you need. Okay, thank you guys, thank you for your time.